3, 2, 1.
Please stand by for further details. We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
Hello to those of you who are feeling called to this reading in particular, mystery reading number 1099. My name is Elizabeth, and before getting into this reading, if you are a recurring viewer, you enjoy my work and you would like to help support it, feel free to do so by sticking around and hitting that subscribe button down below and ringing the notification bell next to it if you feel called to. My current goal at this time is 300 subscribers, so if you do feel called to subscribe and stick around, welcome. And thank you very much for your support as well as your presence during this reading. So, starting with interpreting the number 1099, well, before I talk about that number, I do want to say that this could be a sign for somebody, this message or this reading, that it's important to lighten the workload, to allow yourself to slow down and move at a slower pace. And I just saw the number 122 with 123 after that on the timer. 122 is about change starting with you, and 123 is about trusting that everything happens for a reason. So it does feel like slowing down, moving slower, being more realistic, maybe even, depending on your situation. Just lightening the workload, the responsibility. It feels like this could have a positive impact on those around you as well, or just somewhere in the collective you could have a positive impact by allowing yourself to move slower, whether it's leading by example or having a direct impact on people that you know, or whoever. It does feel like not only could this be a positive change for yourself, but it could also somehow be a positive change for others. And with trusting that everything happens for a reason, you're being called to slow down for a reason. I laughed because I just saw 234 on the timer, which is another sign about trusting that everything happens for a reason. So I really, really encourage you, to trust if you feel called to slow down. Now, moving on to the number 1099. Someone here could, there could be something significant here about taxes or being self-employed. But the number 1 in 1099 is about trusting and believing in yourself. So if you do feel called to slow down, trust that feeling and believe in your ability to still create what you want to create. Just, in a time that feels more right. And I saw the number 333 on the timer, which is about self-expression, communication, using your voice. In some way, it can also be a sign about an opportunity to heal and to grow. And the number 3 can also be about commitment for me. So if you are struggling to commit with something, maybe slowing down could help. I laughed because you might be able to hear noises in the background because there's a cat in my room messing with things. So I hope she's not too distracting. It seems like she's having fun, which honestly is very interesting because we were talking about lighten the load, do less work, and then now we're talking about a cat having fun. Cats symbolize intuition, knowing, at least for me, It doesn't have to mean the same thing for you, but the message is still the same. That if you are intuitively feeling called to slow down and to add more fun into your life, your day-to-day, your routine, this is confirmation to do that, to trust yourself, your intuition. And this idea of believing in your strength, it may be helpful to believe in your ability to sustain your efforts if you slow down. In fact, I think slowing down will make sustainability more possible. That word in particular, sustainability, might be significant for somebody. But moving on to the number 0, this number can be about recurring themes or patterns, and whether it comes in the form of spiritual communication or the way that things align for you or some other way. Pay attention to these themes or these patterns because they're trying to tell you something or show you something. Your intuition in particular might be like, I'm picking up on something, so I need to follow the bread trail, the connect the dots type of thing. Another way that I interpret the number 0 is a reminder or confirmation, depending on how it resonates for you, to know when to put yourself first, when to choose self-respect, when to choose to respect the peace and anything else that you deserve. You deserve to have a respectful and ultimately a strong relationship, a powerful relationship with yourself. I want to say respect goes a long way. And this could apply to the relationship with yourself or in a different situation outside of yourself. Whether it's you might be feeling called to be more respectful towards someone or for someone to be more respectful towards you. Feels like respect could go a long way. This could even be a message for you to demand more respect, and not in like a yelling in your face type of demand, but just like setting boundaries type of thing. I really encourage you to use your voice if you feel called to by putting yourself first. The last number, the number 9, and there are 2 of them, is about purpose and helping the world release what no longer works. This, I kind of already got a feeling of purpose when I talk about the number 122 and how change starts with you. So maybe what kind of change is, it feels like a loss. And it could be anything, but a more specific message could be losing as much progress as you want to make, and instead accepting as much progress you can realistically make. The number 8 could be significant for you, which I interpret as loss and trusting that whatever is lost will be replaced. I think that number pairs nicely with the messages of number 9 and helping the world release what no longer works. I looked down at the timer 8 minutes into the video. So just know that whoever or whatever inside of you or outside of you, you feel called to let go. Trust and believe that you are contributing to something bigger than you. It really does feel like you can have a positive impact on those around you by first having a positive impact on yourself. You want to bring more positivity into this world, you have to be a force of positivity. You have to be a force of light. Or you could be a force of darkness, but I guess it really just depends on who you really are, on what you actually want. In terms of like choosing between the light and the dark, good and evil, you know. And that's not the only way to interpret the light and the dark. That's just one of many ways. It can be femininity, masculinity, which is not gender specific. And I mean, there are things specific to men and women. But in terms of like the spiritual context, masculinity and femininity are gender neutral. It can be about, you know, light in terms of truth, and darkness in terms of confusion. It can mean anything, really. But obviously, like, it has to make sense, but you get what I'm saying. If you feel called to, I encourage you to look into yin and yang. For some reason, I wanted to say the zodiac sign. Maybe there's a specific zodiac sign here that could be significant for somebody. Maybe it's on your mind, or maybe it'll come up in this reading. We'll see about that. But yeah, trust yourself, believe in yourself, pay attention to the patterns. I wanted to say the signs, especially because your ancestors might be trying to connect with you. Know when to put yourself first and really connect with this purposeful feeling when it comes to letting go of things, people, whatever, to respect your worth, what you deserve, your well-being, and your future. Adding up these numbers, 1 plus 0 is 1, plus 9 is 10, plus another 9 is 19, plus 9 is 10, and I have 2 messages with the number 10. But before I talk about that, I saw the number 111 on the timer. So again, more encouragement there, more reinforcement for you to trust yourself and believe in yourself. And it feels like, in particular, with whatever I talk about with the number 10, which I find interesting, because I interpret the number 10 as the presence of your spirit guides. I'm definitely feeling the presence of your ancestors and past loved ones, whether you knew them in this life or not. And, that's how I interpret the number 10 on its own, the presence of spirit guides. And another way that I interpret it, 1 plus 0 is 1. And again, trust yourself, believe in yourself. That feels like a message in particular coming from your spirit guides, especially your ancestors. So maybe there's something at home or at work or in close relationships that you have to trust yourself with. Especially if you do genuinely feel called to walk away or let go of someone or something that is just not bringing you the stability, the security, and the safety that you deserve as a human being. And that's really, what am I trying to say? That's really all there is that I can get from the number 10, is the presence of your spirit guides and trusting yourself. So even like spiritual forces, like I said, past loved ones, they need you to trust yourself and to have faith in your own strength, your ability to maintain your faith and to keep moving forward no matter what. One second here. So you can clearly see that there is a lot going on this table. We have the Magical Dogs Tarot, Ancestor Spirit Oracle, a box of cards here that I made myself, and then these are runes that I made myself, and then these up here are little fortune slips that, if you didn't already know, I felt called to just collect from one of my favorite Chinese American food restaurants just to use in readings. I just felt called to do that, and I trust that I felt called to do that for a reason. But for the reading part, like using the tools on the table, I was reading the numbers, but to clarify, talking about the tools, the Magical Dogs Tarot, I'm just going to use this to really get a lot more detail about what all of these messages were related to the number 1, 0, and the number 9, and the number 10. And then I will draw out one of these cards from this box here to see what else could be added to that. For me personally, I find that whatever comes out with those cards can be particularly interesting, and in a reading where I definitely feel the presence of ancestors, and how I used these cards on myself when I was, healing and at the more closer to the beginning of my spiritual journey, it feels right to use these. And then I will draw an Ancestor Spirit Oracle card to get more focus into what your ancestors in particular want to say. And then I will wrap up the reading by drawing out one of these runes and one of these fortune slips again, just to see what comes out. As I've said in readings a couple of times lately, these mystery readings are just as much a mystery for you as they are for me. So sometimes they have a little bit of structure, sometimes they don't have any structure at all. This is one where it kind of feels like it's more in the middle. But let's go ahead and draw out one of these tarot cards. I'm gonna shuffle them up real nice first, though, because I didn't before I started recording, and I felt called to do it on purpose. I just got flashed the King of Pentacles in reverse. There could be like an attachment to something more materialistic, and a more specific message is an attachment to progress. But to put it more general, there's a materialistic attachment. Maybe you could feel like you're being a little too greedy, or someone in your life is being a little too greedy, or both, even. I have the Two of Cups for you. And the number 2 can be confirmation of a significant relationship or situation on your mind that has come up so far in this reading. It can also be confirmation or guidance for you to create more peace and balance within yourself. This could be through letting go and, really prioritizing what means the most to you, including your peace, your well-being. Just being mindful about your choices in general. And since this is a Two of Cups card, the choice aspect is more focused on how you feel, how you choose to think, your perspectives, your beliefs. It's definitely more internal. And actually, I feel that the interpretation of 2 between prioritizing your choices and creating peace within yourself, I feel strongly the idea of peace. Creating peace. They're both just as important. But this is a pretty good card to talk about peace, at least in a more, not really in a broader sense, but maybe like a specific relationship or situation. Not just in life in general. So let's draw one of these cards out of this box now. We have the year 2022 on, I think that's just one side. Yep, that's one side. And if you remove the 0, obviously it's 222. So there's a lot of focus here on the number 2. What is this relationship or this situation that you're being guided to walk away from, so you can have more peace in yourself and attract more of, what actually means the most to you, just in every part of your life. Now that's a more general message. 2 plus 0 is 2, plus 2 is 4, plus 2 is 6, and the number 6 is about a choice between self-love and self-destruction. It's a commitment between self-love and self-destruction. I'm seeing the Lover's card from Tarot. I may have talked about that in a recent reading, and that could be confirmation that this reading is also meant for you. But moving forward, letting go or holding on is, it feels like at the core of it, it's about choosing to love yourself or, be a destructive force in your own life towards yourself. So be mindful of how you move forward. The other side says, never accept less than you deserve. And I'm really, really happy to see this card because it confirms a lot, honestly. You have the number 49 at the top, which is the number 13 when you add it together. And I have 2 messages from this number 13. The first one is a sign of good luck and good fortune. In the long run, letting go, walking away, it does feel like it will pay off, whether whatever you're losing is replaced or, whatever. I think it'll be worth it. The other way that I interpret it, 1 plus 3 is 4, and that is connected to stability and ancestors. So your ancestors coming through, encouraging you to prioritize stability, to have what you deserve in terms of safety, security, stability. And, that seems like a pretty good segue into these Ancestor Spirit Oracle cards. I'm not gonna lie. This could definitely be a love situation for somebody, but again, it could really be anything that is robbing you of your peace. It could be about the attachment to progress that I was talking about. Just take it however it resonates, if it does. But let's see what your ancestors, what more would you all like to say about this reading for the people that are watching. We have teach and share. At the bottom it says instill, instruct, and educate. So your ancestors are putting focus on the fact that this is an opportunity to learn and grow, so that way you can share your story, teach and share with others about what you have been through to help them, go through the same thing or similar situations. There is really something here, like this feeling of being a role model or leading by example, like I mentioned before. Take this opportunity to learn and to grow through letting go and healing and, being open to whatever wisdom and awareness and consciousness this healing has to offer you. Whatever it is, I think you deserve to know. I think you deserve to be more aware. I think you deserve to learn. And I'm feeling connected to the word imparare, which means to learn in Italian. So I think your ancestors as well really, really want you to know that you deserve to learn, to be a student and at this time, so you can teach and share. For some reason I wanted to say like the best teachers were students. Makes me want to say like the best speakers started out as listeners. So listen for what the universe is trying to show you through the pain, the suffering. You could even be clairaudient. Kind of like that. I'm pretty sure that was a clairaudient experience. I'm still, trying to understand my own psychicness, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. But you can do that too, and it doesn't have to be clairaudience. It's just very clear that your ancestors want you to take this opportunity to find peace and wisdom. Let's get a rune now. I'm going to move for these next ones pretty quickly so I can wrap up this reading for you. The rune that I have is called, I think it's pronounced Fehu. It has the letter F. There could be something significant here about like a grade, getting an F in school or something. It says cattle, prosperity, gain of some sort, fulfillment. It's very clear that this rune is pointing to the fact that there is some wisdom to gain. And perhaps even this wisdom could breed more abundance. And for the last thing to show you, how fitting, it feels very fitting, this does. You will chart a new path towards independence today. So maybe what you're going to learn, something about your strength, your true capabilities, or what you deserve. Probably many different things, to be honest. But overall, this reading has very much been about recognizing and respecting your own worth, and you are receiving it from your spirit guides to help you see your worth and what you actually deserve, especially your ancestors. And I just saw the number 432 on the timer. You are receiving this support for a reason, because you deserve it, and you do have a voice, and you can have a greater impact if that's what you choose to do with the wisdom that you have the opportunity to gain. But first you need to decide, do you want to obtain this wisdom or not, and allow yourself to heal, to walk away, to do what you need to do to teach and share.